Testing, testing. Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of the Sharpshooters. As always, we're your hosts, Danny and Juice. How you doing tonight, Juice?
Doing all right, Danny. I'm doing okay. I'm at peace. This is a safe space tonight. This is a therapy session, not just for me, but for anybody that experienced this past weekend. I think we're all gonna leave this hour feeling pretty cathartic.
It's cute
I'm
that you
ready to
think
go.
tonight's going to be an hour, man. We have a lot to talk about tonight. For those of you new to the show, we are the Sharpshooters. This is Thursday, which means this is Last Point Standing, where we talk about the week of wrestling in review. But first, some housekeeping. As always, thank you to Accept the Win for being the official band of the podcast. You hear them before and after the show and during the commercial break. And please, if you haven't done so already, throw us a little subscription. As you can see down below, we're at 4 out of 10. We're still trying to get to 10 out of 10. If you have Amazon Prime, all the instructions are on the side here. You can use your Amazon Prime account. It's free for you, helps us out, really helps us upgrade. We need to upgrade this computer and some of the stuff so we can do our shows a lot better. So please help us out. Thank you very much. Without further ado, Juice, let's get into tonight's...
Before you do dive in, I do just
there
want
is
to
a
give
further ado.
I want to give one final plug to anybody watching here tonight live, or if you're going to be watching this upcoming weekend on demand via our Linktree or YouTube down below, where all of our videos are posted for you to watch. We are next week going to be opening up the mailbag. So all the questions that we've accrued over the last 2 or so months, we're going to be opening up the mailbag and answering those questions here on the stream. So if you have any questions, this is the last call. Because after this, we won't close the mailbag, but we'll pause it until we get more questions with time. But yeah, if you have questions, wrestling related or not wrestling related, that you want myself or Danny to answer here on the stream live, now's the time. Go to the SharpShooters1@yahoo.com and submit your question there. And again, it can be wrestling related, it can be non-wrestling related. It could be asking us what our favorite color is, what our favorite snack food is, anything you want to know about good old Juice and Danny. Throw it in again, the SharpShooters1@yahoo.com. Yeah, because again, we're doing it on Tuesday, so get him in while you can. Last call.
Alrighty. Now, without further ado, here we go into our list of topics tonight. I'm already jumping the gun. I gotta put that up. There we go. As
what the
always, if you want to talk about anything that's not on the list, just throw it in the chat, and we'll be happy to discuss it. But until then, we have our list, and we are about to get started. Juice, start us off with Roppongi Vice.
So first, I want to talk about Roppongi Vice and Collision with what felt like it was a month ago at this rate. It aired last Thursday night. It aired last Thursday night as we were on the air. So it's been a minute, but it was a live Collision from Boston, and I thought it was great. I thought it was a very good episode, and I wanted to kick it off here by talking about the reuniting Roppongi Vice, where we had a nice little surprise with Tomohiro Ishii and Rocky Romero taking on the Callis family. They lost, and with that, then we had, I believe, Trent returned first, and then Rocky turned heel, or maybe it was the other way around. Either way, Trent Beretta returned, Rocky Romero turning heel on Tomohiro Ishii, and they both joined the Callis family. And I gotta say, between them and Josh Alexander, really beefed up Callis family here. I mean, I was always okay with the Callis family. I liked them. I was never a hater, but the group's much stronger now with those three being added in this last week.
Well, it was funny because I even texted you. We were talking about the Callis family and how they need reinforcements and how they need to, like, we were always wondering what that original 12 was going to be, and we wanted to see it come to fruition. And now it really looks like it is, with three big names being added in, or at least, brought back / added in. Lance Archer looks like he's kind of back now after last night. So now you start seeing the big group form, and it's going to be real interesting if they get a few more. They're going to be at 12. And when's the last time you had like a solid 12 person stable? I can't remember. So I'm kind of excited to see what they do with it. It looks pretty good so far.
Yeah, right now, as far as I can recall, I think Mark Davis and Brian Cage are the only two that are out injured that were in the group. So they're not down a lot.
So right now they're up to 5. I think they're up to 7 right now that are active. Right? You got Fletcher and Takeshita. You have Archer. That's 3. Shut up. You have Roppongi Vice. That's 2 more. So that's 5. You have Josh Alexander, which is 6. Am I missing someone who's active right now?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but either way, you pretty much hit the nail on the head. Jay DeFalco says the corporate ministry had a shit ton of people. Yep. Also, the closest we probably had in a while is the Nexus.
Yeah, Nexus had about 7, so they're at Nexus number right now.
Yeah. But yeah, just wanted to bring that up. I'm happy to see Rocky and Trent together. I do think it kind of is funny after Trent's whole thing was like, here's the big singles run we're going to get. And then Trent's just like, no, it's not going to work. And it's probably not going to work out for him. I love Trent, but yeah.
We'll see.
Some people are just better as in a tag team. Next up, one of my personal highlights from the weekend, Adam Cole open challenge for the TNT title. His first challenger, Claudio Castagnoli, accepting the challenge on Collision. This is a first time ever match between the two.
Yeah, that was awesome. I didn't know that.
Never fought one. That's anywhere, not even AEW. Never fought one-on-one anywhere. I loved it. I thought it was great. 2 of my favorites going at it. Just awesome match. They beat the hell out of each other too. Cole got all banged up on his. Cole got all bruised up on his ribs. I think Claudio was bleeding from his back or chest, but either way, they got beat up. I love the match. What do you think?
The match was awesome. I liked Fresh Off. Honestly, the story was really well told because like Claudio's fresh off the trio's loss, the trio championship loss last week. So coming into it, you're like, are they going to give him back-to-back losses? They can't give Cole a loss right away. It's his first open challenge. And just the way they did it, nice, not a definitive win, but a definitive win at the same time. Like, I liked it. Leaves the door open for a down the road more of a rivalry when they kind of get there. But really good match. One of my favorite matches of the week. So I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was great, and I like that Cole got the win. I think it was a good first challenge, not some nobody or whatever, or lower level talent kind of deal. Awesome, good stuff. Next up, Nick Wayne had a big week. Um,
They
Unfortunately,
gotta
it's
play
once
Uno again.
again what?
Jay DeFalco Road match is dope. They got to play Uno again.
Oh yeah, do they even do that anymore together? Jay,
I don't
you
think
probably
so.
know better, but probably not. Um, I don't think they do.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But yeah, Nick Wayne had a big week. Unfortunately, I knew it was going to happen. It's always at the expense of Ring of Honor. And once again, a Ring of Honor title change happens on an AEW television program.
Hmm.
Um, Whatever. But, I'm glad Nick Wayne got the win. To have a belt, he's going to go to New Japan for the best of the Super Juniors with the belt. I'm very relieved they pulled the plug very quick on the whole Christian Cage having the belt, being the champ again. I had no patience for that.
Yeah.
Um,
I would have been so mad if they like let that run
I
for a while.
I audibly rolled my eyes. I audibly sighed and rolled my eyes. I was
Audibly
like,
rolled my eyes.
I was just like, no, we cannot do this again. And
Yeah.
luckily, Christian gave it back and whatever. But yeah, I wanted to see what you thought about Nick Wayne being the Ring of Honor TV champion.
Him specifically being the Ring of Honor TV champion, doesn't do anything for me as far as him being a champion because, like you said, it's Ring of Honor. I don't really put much stock into their titles on AEW. I'd rather them win it on their own show and then bring it over and like show highlights of that to try to get people to go watch ROH more.
Hmm.
But as far as the storyline, I love what they're doing with the storyline. It's really working well where like everyone you can see is slowly about to turn on Cage, just waiting for that one night where he just takes it too far and Mama Wayne and Nick Wayne and probably little Sabian will all turn and then take him out, which is hopefully the long-term storyline. So when he goes away, him and Cope come back together, or, which wouldn't make sense, that's why he has to be taken out. It wouldn't make sense if he gets beat down and Cope comes makes the save, because, like, he's still heel while you saving the heel just because he's your former friend, I guess. I'd rather him go away and come back with Cope. I think that'll be a little better storyline-wise.
Well, put it this way: if you're gonna do all this, you have like 2.5 months.
Yeah,
So
you
it's
got
not much.
plenty of time.
There's not much time if you want to really make it like build and feel not rushed. So we'll
Well,
see.
2.5 months for what? You're aiming for All In?
Well, yeah, if you want to
Okay.
do the reunion at all in, like,
Oh, yeah.
or like if you want them reformed and already in a match together. So, well, we'll see how that goes.
That's fair.
Um, Next up, speaking of Ring of Honor,
Huh?
the
What?
Ring of Honor pay-per-views have been canceled / shuffled. If you have not heard, Supercard of Honor was going to be in about a week from tomorrow, I believe, or Saturday. And they have canceled that show. They have now pushed Supercard of Honor to July, where Death Before Dishonor was going to be, and they've now moved Death Before Dishonor off of July and into September in Philly before All Out. So I knew something was up. I was just telling my brother like a day or two before that like we were 2 weeks out and there wasn't one match announced for this show, and they had only sold half of the tickets for the venue. So like
Yeah, it's
could have made
weird.
it work ticket wise. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I mean, obviously it's a bad look. It sucks, and it explains certain things, but like it's just crazy how you think about the last few weeks of AEW television. And like if you actually kept Jericho Bandito, Nick Wayne Commander, and Mercedes Athena all from AEW television over the last few weeks, if you saved them all for the Ring of Honor pay-per-view in a week, like that show would have sold way
It would have
much
been a hell of a
better.
card, yeah.
It would have sold much better to see Mercedes Athena for the first time, and it didn't work out. And it sucks. It really sucks. And Ring of Honor just continues to get tanked and be dead. And I wish it did better, but I just don't know the answer. It's awful right now.
Yeah, I
Dire
know.
Straits.
And I can't speak much of it besides that it just kind of sucks that they're now literally turning it into a farm system. It almost looks like, and just like, what's the point of that? Like, we're gonna talk about it later, but WWE is about to do the same thing. And it's just like you guys are killing any independent thing that you were trying to that like people fell in love with, where you gain some of these guys from. Now they're all gonna be your guys, no matter where they come from. It doesn't look good. I'm not happy about
Sucks.
it.
But yeah. Next up, Moving.
Next up.
Why are you laughing? Moving on
So weird.
to AEW Dynamite. Master P showing up and kicking off the show. I gotta admit, I'm a little disappointed. Only because I would have much rather preferred Naughty by Nature come out instead. I think that would have been way more appropriate to introduce the ops than Master P. And I think it was a layup. Hopefully you understand what I'm getting at. If not, I can spell it out for you. But
I don't.
you don't? Oh,
I
come
don't.
on, man. No, Naughty by Nature? No, nothing. Anybody in chat?
I'm gonna assume Jay DeFalco. That's probably it.
Naughty by Nature, the ops. You down with OPP? Yeah, you know me.
Oh, OPS.
Come
Okay.
on, man.
Yeah.
The ops, man. You
My
guys, you're
bad.
killing me.
My bad.
Oh well, it was a layup. Either way, yeah, I would have rather Naughty by Nature over Master P, but no, Master P was fine. And for those of you that do not know the connection or reasoning behind it from a political standpoint, there's a company called House of Glory, based out of
Yeah.
New York. Master P owns the company. So this is a business move just to kind of strengthen that relationship.
It was just funny the little punches he was throwing at Moxley, like when he got put in the sleeper hold. I was just crying. I was like, he was trying to like punch around Joe at first, and then he went to the side, and I was just like, man, you're trying so hard. It's adorable.
Yeah, no, I like the segment. It was good. It was fun. It was better than who was it? Was that Rick Ross?
Yeah. Oh my God,
Who
that was
was
a
it that
terrible
came out?
one.
And he was just like cursing, yelling.
Yeah. That was so
no
bad.
filter. Yeah, that one sucked. Master P was fine. He was good. At least he gets it. He owns a wrestling company, so he understands.
Agreed.
Yeah, hot, nice, fun segment. Also, and with that segment, we get announced that on May 14th, we're getting Joe versus Mox
Yeah,
on
that's
Dynamite
crazy.
for the title. And with that being like a week and a half before Double or Nothing, pretty much locks in that they are going to do the Anarchy in the Arena again, I would assume. And it's going to be the Ops, Swerve, and Omega versus some combination of the Death Riders and the Bucks. Probably against their will, but I think the Bucks are going to use their pull and throw themselves in there. But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I think that's what that confirms. So
Nice.
next up, FTR continuing the beginning of their heel turn, their heel run, checking off the next box of taking out the legends.
The legends that they continuously saved many times in the past, which I found very poetic, and I liked it a lot.
Oh yeah, the second they showed them like the segment beforehand,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, they're getting beat up by FTR, and then they were like FTR next. I'm like, okay, here it comes. But yeah, the segment was good. And the big surprise from the segment is FTR now has a manager.
Yeah.
Mr. Stokely Hathaway has found himself into this. I have to say, I'm intrigued. I'm willing to see it play out. I mean, it's good to get a Mike Piece that can get the heat and get the boost for them. Not that they need it, but I'm willing to see it play out. What do you think of it?
I was surprised, but I like Stokely Hathaway, so I wasn't like upset or anything like that. I'm just curious to see how it does play out. Like, I'm curious to see like how he is as their mouthpiece, meaning like if it's kind of like this whole business part of it, I think that's better. They don't need him to talk for them. They don't need him to like talk smack or like put him in matches. They need him to be like the business guy and like control them and make sure they don't get more fines, quote unquote, and make sure they get like their title shot, and like that's what they need from him. And I think he's gonna play that really well because he's shown us that he could do that in the past. So like I think that makes sense.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm cautiously optimistic because Stokely's track record with things in his AEW run has not been good.
Yeah.
Like the Chris Statlander thing didn't work out. The Firm didn't work out. The Ring of Honor authority figure did not work out.
I remember.
He hasn't really had anything work out. So let's see. We will see. Moving on. Speaking of Chris Statlander, to the final segment of the
Beautiful
AEW portion.
transitions.
Thank you. Chris Statlander and Jamie Hayter fought in the main event last night in the semifinals to crown who would move on to face Mercedes Moné at Double or Nothing for the Owen Hart Foundation Cup. And thankfully, in my opinion, Jamie Hayter won. I like both. I have no problem with either of them, but I think Jamie Hayter was the way to go here between the
Yeah.
two, only because I'd rather see Hayter and Mercedes for the first time than Mercedes Stat for the third time, even though there's a story there. And I'm glad because they really, I was annoyed that they didn't really include Hayter in the collision tag
Yeah, that was
week
weird.
before.
I don't know why they brought
Like,
back in Harley
and Julia,
and
yeah, just
Julia.
because, yeah. So I wasn't I thought they were kind of like laying it up as Stat was going to win. So I was very pleased that they didn't do that, and that's why I was kind of pulling for Hayter to win there. Jay says attacking Rock and Roll Express is an AEW heel tag team staple these days. Yep, easy heel heat. Get the legends, beat them up. But
Nice.
I wanted to see what you thought about Hayter winning, and then just in general, the winners of the Owen. Who do you want them to be? Who do you think they're going to be at this point?
Well, I still think it's to be Mercedes, and I still think it's to be Hangman. Just again, Mercedes, just because they're building up, I think like their top two women right now, and is Mercedes and Tony. So let them finally battle it out. I think that's kind of the way to go. I know Jamie's a good choice as well. I'm not gonna be upset if it's Jamie Hayter, but I just think Mercedes is doing so much bigger and better things right now. And then the men's side, as much as Will Ospreay is on fire, like for the storyline myself, and again, this one is more of a personal belief in what I think they should do as opposed to what I think they might do. I think it's got to be Hangman. I think Hangman has got to be the one to dethrone Moxley. I think that's coming soon, and it's got to be an original like I've been clamoring for. So I think Hangman's the way to go for that too. And also, like, he's doing this whole redemption arc. He's forgiven Swerve, and he's kind of ended that little feud. And like he's
Well,
he's
he
trying.
hasn't. He
Well,
hasn't forgiven.
not
Swerve.
hasn't, but like he's on that road with him, where like we'll see. He's showing those babyface tendencies.
Okay, I don't think he's really. I mean, everyone's cheering for him, but I don't think he's acting any different so far. So for what it's worth, I still think Paige has too much going on where it's going to be Osprey between the MJF segment and the Swerve stuff and the Bucks stuff. I just think it's going to play into something else with All In. We will see. I'm pulling for Osprey, and I'm pulling for Mercedes.
That's fair.
But we will see how it goes. And my one last note before we go to commercial break, I'm not really crazy about how the pacing for the Owen has gone this year.
It's
Like
very strange.
it felt we could have done a 16-person field for both because now we have like a month and the finals are set.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, yeah, the finals are set.
And like
Um,
even the matches
well,
themselves,
no,
like you're doing one match almost a show, which kind of sucks. Like you could do 2 matches, 3 matches a show if you just had a couple more
yeah.
and then really slow it down.
Yeah, they definitely could have done more here. So I'm a little let down that they didn't do a 16-person field for both.
Yeah.
Because you clearly had the time. Because
Yeah.
now you have Paige and Fletcher's next week, but like this show's a month from this weekend, and you had time. You could have done a whole other thing.
And
Whatever.
honestly,
At
a
this point.
16-person field would have brought in some fresh faces, and you could have left the people you have in now, brought in some more fresh faces, and it wouldn't have felt so bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Oh well. Honestly, overall, a solid week of AEW action though.
agreed.
Double or Nothing quickly coming up.
Agreed. All right, so we're going to go to commercial, and when we get back, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to talk about on the WWE side, so don't go anywhere. Stick with us.
Hmm.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, you stuck with us during that break and maybe even try to give us a sub. If you got confused, let me know. I'll tell you how to give us a sub. No problem. But we're going to our WWE part of the night. Usually, it's not as long as it is tonight, but we have a lot to talk about between WrestleMania and honestly, SmackDown and Raw had some things that really grinded our gears. So we got a lot to talk about tonight. So buckle in, give us your opinions, and let's get to it. Starting with a new WWE documentary called WWE Unreal, where from the trailer, it looks like they give you all the behind the scenes of how a match gets made, including production during the match and little signs and stuff they tell each other, as if like they showed again, it was a trailer, so I don't know how accurate it is, but they showed Cody Rhodes on the floor, and instead of saying, like, is he hurt, they said, good job, he's selling, or something like that. So really giving a way behind-the-scenes look, pulling back the curtain all the way to show, like, what goes into a WWE match and stuff. How do you feel about this, Juice, before I give my opinion?
I'm conflicted on it because, I typically I love this kind of stuff, like getting the peek behind the curtain, hearing the creative process, seeing everybody backstage kind of hanging out in the camaraderie. I enjoy watching that stuff. Problem is here, like, this is almost too deep a show behind the curtain. Like you're letting your fans in way too much to see something that truthfully, first off, this is all going to be very scripted and planned, despite how real they want to make it feel. Like
Mm-hmm.
nothing you're seeing is going to end up being like legit, and
No,
you
of
know what I
course not.
mean. It's a reality, even though it's documentary. It's going to be fabricated because they know the cameras are filming. Still, it paints this picture of this current state of wrestling and like showing people just too much.
Yep.
Like them literally saying he's selling, he's fine. Like over the last few years, I feel like I've turned a corner as a fan where I just really want a lot of the magic back. And maybe I went too far on one end of knowing and hearing all this shit. And now that WWE, and this isn't new for them either. Let's not pretend that. Like they've had the network for years. They were doing these documentaries, backstage stuff for a long time. But there's a line to it, and I feel like this show is kind of crossing part of that.
Yeah. And I kind of agree with that, where it's like, listen, and the problem is that these are also the things that, like, if you throw on YouTube, I'm gonna watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
on YouTube, they would be a little more unbiased, or they would try to get more, behind what really happened. Where WWE is gonna give us like their version of events. Even like, for example, I was thinking, what if they show us like a backstage argument, backstage fight? Even that's gonna be real. They're gonna edit and they're gonna do whatever they can to make it look less than what it was,
Yeah.
or embellish it more than what it was, and who like it's just not going to be authentic, and that's going to
Yeah.
be the real problem with it. It's not unreal, it's more edits to make us look better, so you feel better about what you're watching.
Yeah.
Just not a
And
fan
people
of
are gonna buy it, and people are gonna eat it up and buy it.
100%.
It
100%.
just sucks. It's like I think about, like, I know like there's like infants and kids not watching this stuff, but like they're impressionable. They're gonna watch this stuff and they're gonna want to see it because you're promoting it on TV, and they're gonna like you're killing it. You're
Mm-hmm.
killing the business.
Killing the
Like,
magic.
it's just, but we'll get to more of that later, I guess. But it sucks.
Speaking of killing the business, this weekend, WWE announced before night one, I believe, that they have purchased AAA Wrestling. So another promotion under another bigger promotion's name. This will now be both TNA and AAA under the WWE banner, and as we talked about before, ROH under the AEW banner. So how do we feel about AAA here?
But one quick, I believe, point of clarification. I could be wrong. It's a technicality thing. I don't think so. WWE acquired AAA. I don't think WWE owns TNA. I think WWE is just a partnership with them, and I think TNA is owned by Endeavor, who's
Oh,
under the
okay.
same umbrella. I think so. I
Gotcha.
think they're partners. They're more partners. Whereas I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I'm
No,
pretty sure
you're
that's the
probably right.
connection. Um, Either way, it's bad for the business. It sucks. I'm not gonna lie and pretend I like Lucha Libre, nor do I care for AAA one bit. Conan is a piece of shit. Fuck. And honestly, I don't feel bad. They all deserve whatever's coming their way. Um, yeah, it sucks for the business. It sucks, but I really don't feel bad for them or anything that's coming their way.
That's fair.
Whether they're rebranded as NXT Mexico or, because now I don't know who's under what contract, but like you have to imagine people want to leave or maybe can't leave. But I'm pretty sure guys like Alberto Del Rio are under contract with AAA.
Hmm.
I'm trying to think who else is there. But like the only person I could think of that I really liked in AAA was Vikingo, and he seems like the one that they're really featuring on TV.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
So
literally right away, they featured him as soon as they could.
yeah, so I don't think he's going anywhere. But either way, yeah, just bad all around. But I don't feel bad for AAA at all because
And
they suck.
I think you're gonna kind of see a little bit of what's in store for AAA on WWE TV when you looked at, and we'll get to it later, the Andre the Battle Memorial, where Andre the Giant Battle Memorial, sorry, where just a bunch of luchadors ganged up on one guy because they believe he's the one under the mask and yada yada yada. So I don't think Triple H is gonna benefit from this at all. I think they're just gonna kind of change their whole style if they even let them continue being what they are. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be good. I don't think it's gonna work out for anyone except for
Nope.
WWE just getting more fodder to them.
And by the way, for the record, if AEW comes out tomorrow and announces they bought CMLL, I'd more or less say the same thing I'm saying right now.
I agree.
So just want to make that very clear.
Very,
I'd say this.
very.
I'd say this regardless of the fact.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Going on now to more of WWE stuff during the weekend of actual WrestleMania. We have some things that we have so much to talk about, so that's some things we're going to put together. So NXT Hall of Fame slots. We also had match wait time for WrestleMania. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the last point, and you can cover the first two. But the match wait time is getting ridiculous to a point where I even told the producer, you can legitimately take half an hour naps between each match and have a good 10 minutes to wake up, get yourself ready, and watch the next match. It's getting too much, and there's no reason for it. There's nothing happening between the matches. It's all commercials. It's all stuff they're promoting. It's getting ridiculous that we're having 5-hour shows that can be 2-hour shows, but 3 hours of the show is just commercial and busy stuff. So this weekend it got worse than I think it's ever been, and I think you proved it with some numbers, and I just hated it. I hated it.
Yeah, there's a gentleman over on Twitter. I believe he's at WWE Wait Times.
Okay.
He
Jeez.
that's where I get the info. So he doesn't watch live and like stopwatch time it, but like he has a system that he's explained where he basically he does the math and figures out how long you're waiting versus how long you're watching a match. So he's including entrances and stuff in there, and like WrestleMania, it's fine to have a longer entrance. I'm fine with like a 10-minute break from like one bell to the next bell for like a video package and
Of
stuff. But
course.
like the average wait time was like 20 minutes. And then before the main event, it was almost like 40. Like it's
Crazy.
too long. It's not going to go anywhere. And it sucks. It sucks for the show flow. And even casual people, like when they're watching, like they'll even be like, what the hell? It's the show over? When's the next match? What's
Yeah.
going on? And so whatever. It's just that part again, once again, sucks.
And I also
And
have to imagine just being there live. Like, what do you do for that time in between? Like, that must be crazy boring. So, yeah, no, I don't know how that works.
yeah. And also another thing, I think while they may not fix the wait times, something I really think they need to sit down and reassess and fix is the way they're scheduling their WrestleMania week. Because while I didn't watch, the Hall of Fame starting at 1 a.m. is absurd.
I don't know who would
Um,
watch that at that live. And they
and
were falling asleep. The wrestlers were falling asleep during
yeah,
the Fall Hall of Fame
yeah.
ceremony.
So the Hall of Fame starting at 1 a.m. is a joke. I don't care if you're in Vegas or West Coast, East Coast. Um, and then NXT being at like 12 in the morning or noon, fine, noon. it's too early. The day of Mania, like these fans are going from one thing to the next, and you're burning them out. So I don't know. I don't. I know the answer. The answer is to get rid of 2 Night Manias, but they're not going to do it.
Yes.
But
Have
yeah,
the
it's just
takeover and have the Mania. That's it. That's the answer.
this current format is not working for them at all.
And it's too much in one day. It's too much to watch in one day, especially again because you're having 3 hours of filler. It just becomes too much time to give to you. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It wasn't good. Speaking of not good, we have our annual Andre the Giant Battle Memorial Battle Royal. I keep messing up the flow of it. And this year's, I'm going to say unlucky winner, because every time someone wins that, they just disappear, is Carmelo Hayes. Any feelings about this Battle Royal, about him winning? Did you think he was going to win? Did you care? What did you feel?
No, I didn't care.
No.
I mean, I cared more about Andrade not winning.
Yes.
So I was happy for Carmelo because it wasn't Andrade.
I thought they were going to give it to Phoenix.
I do like Carmelo, but honestly, the Andre has meant nothing since it's been taken off of Mania.
Exactly.
So.
All right. That was just a quick thing. I just wanted to see what you felt about that. It was boring as hell. Next point, last point from SmackDown that really we've been talking about. I still can't believe they did it, and it hasn't even happened yet. But the tag team title scene has officially been announced for its culmination match, I hope, at this point, which is going to be a TLC tag team match this Friday, tomorrow night on SmackDown. Instead of being on the WrestleMania card after months of build. I know how you feel, but let the audience know how you feel, Juice.
Bullshit. Sucks, man. Like, that's the theme. Everything sucks. It all fucking sucks. Like, they started building this, I believe, in October. 6 months. This story has been building between these teams, where we were that confident in seeing the trajectory that they earned it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was right there in front of them to do it. And I knew it. I knew on SmackDown they were going to do a no contest. And then I was like, I knew it. They're going to do a no contest on SmackDown. Maybe they'll announce the tag match then for WrestleMania, last minute pop. But they didn't do it. They put it on fucking SmackDown next week, so you don't even get the Mania crowd. And sorry, no. Like, that is disgusting.
It's not right. It's not right.
Talking about who deserves it. They deserved a WrestleMania spot. Bullshit.
I'm going to say out of pretty much every feud, minus maybe the Punk Seth Rollins Roman feud, pretty much out of every feud, they were the longest. They were the most interesting throughout the entire thing. At no point in those 6 months was I like, oh man, this tag team title match is getting boring. If anything, each passing week I was like more interested in it because they were hooking me more and more. It was the only good thing on SmackDown for the longest time. Like, I just don't understand where their mindset was, that they were like, oh, you guys did all this work, bounce, see you next week. Like, you get nothing. And it's just, it's not right, especially when you look at night one of the Mania card. Could have replaced 6 out of the 7 matches night one. And overall, I just don't get it. I just don't understand the logic. And I'm surprised because they are Triple H's boys. Like, that's Tommaso Ciampa, that's Johnny Gargano. Triple H loves those two. They brought in Motor City Machine Guns. You figured they were going to get their WrestleMania moment. Like, what was the point of all this? And that's what it comes down to. The point of all this was for this to just culminate on a SmackDown episode. Like, that's bullshit. That sucks.
I think that match not happening is probably in my top 3 of like worst things from WrestleMania week.
100%.
Like,
yeah.
The match not happening. And there's a lot of bad.
There's a lot of bad. And
that's probably my top 3
I
worst
agree.
fucking things they did.
That set the tone for the entire weekend. Easily.
Well, I already had my tone.
I mean from like fresh. All right. So let's get into this weekend. As we talk about it, I'm going to go back and forth with our predictions. Actually, I'm probably just going to pull up the predictions now because we don't really need the timer. A lot of this stuff we're going to be going on for a while. You're not going to see the last point standings if I bring up the predictions, so I'll just let you know what we're talking about next with all this stuff. First up, we got Gunther versus Jey Uso, We were both correct. Let me pull up our predictions. Oh, that's wrong. We were both correct in picking. Let me go to night one. Oh, we are night one. Where are we? Jey Uso. How do we feel about the actual match itself?
It sucked.
Why?
It was not good. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, sure, the crowd's into him. The crowd loves him, but it was not a good match. It was not long enough for a title match. Jay beat Walter way too easily. I understand what they were doing with the sleeper hold, doing it to avenge Jimmy, but in my personal opinion, in my eyes, they ruined Walter on this night. Like all the magic and mystique you built up for him as the NXT UK champion, as the IC champion, as the world champion, the king of the ring, all that stuff. Even when Pete Dunne or Ilya or Sammy beat him, it was this huge epic conquering. Like they earned it in that match. It was dope. When Jay won, it was no. I'm sorry. It was very weak, and Walter taps right away. So I mean, I knew it was coming. Don't get me wrong, not the sleeper, but yeah, the match sucked. I didn't like it.
No, I agree, and it really did suck. And the problem was that first off, Gunther just didn't look into it. Like Gunther looked like he was just kind of going through the motion. He didn't look like he was really into the match itself. And I don't like how they had Jay win. I don't think having him avenge him with a sleeper works. I think him doing like a bunch of splashes or whatever, or like really trying to physically beat him down, because Jay never wins with that kind of stuff. I don't mind you putting it on. I don't mind you almost winning with it, but to flat out win with it, like it wasn't even built up well. Like it wasn't even like, oh my God, he's gonna tap. It's gonna tap. But like everyone assumed like, okay, he's gonna tap, and they're like, oh shit, match is over. That kind of sucks. Like
It was terrible.
when the match being over surprises you in a bad way, when it's quiet, that sucks, and that's not what you wanted.
To be fair, it wasn't quiet. The crowd did erupt.
Yeah, the crowd erupted just because it's Jey Uso, but like it wasn't one of those like built up eruptions. Like it was a more I don't know. I wasn't a fan of it.
Yeah, and I don't know if you have. I mean, I can't see the points anymore.
I brought it up.
Okay.
So under me, next up is what are you asking about? Which one?
Do you have anything about the post-show press conference, or should I talk about that?
No, you can talk about that in this. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I said it before, I'll say it again with Jey Uso, man. Like, if anybody, I didn't watch it, but I saw clips of it. If anybody saw Jey Uso in the post-show press conference, like, he was either drunk or high or something. He was all fucked up, mumbling, not making any sense. And I said it when he did it with Cody a few years back, and I feel the same way now. It's an embarrassment, and he should be. It sucks. It's really it's an embarrassment on the company. It's bad PR, but no one seems to care. And I honestly, I don't really care if I come off as like clutching pearls or whatever. But like, you are a professional. You're the champion that just won. You're going in front of the media to speak. You should be coherent and able to speak and answer questions in a legible, functionable way. And I can't believe the second time now he's gotten no blowback anywhere for this. And especially with his history, him and his brother of DUIs and shit.
I was about to bring that up. I was about to bring that up, but like, listen, this guy has history of like DUIs and being drunk a lot, and then you're gonna let him just be drunk. This time, I think, was worse. At least last time, I can understand maybe you're celebrating with Cody. It's your first like big main event win. You got the belts. I can give you a little slack because you weren't as bad either. It was a little more entertaining. It was the first time it happened. Let it go, fine. This time, it's on the biggest pay-per-view of your company's year. You won supposedly the biggest storyline leading up to it, the biggest underdog storyline, and you came in belligerent. Like, you came in incoherent. And that was the embarrassing part. Like, that was more embarrassing than the first time, without question. And you can't have that. It just doesn't make sense. I agree with you 100%. And it wasn't funny. Like at the very least, even if it was bad, I could be like, oh, he did it again, and be like, all right, there's a funny line there. Like, what an idiot. Not even that. And that's what makes it worse. All right.
Embarrassing.
Next up, I put some matches together because again, we only got so much time. So, New Day, Jade Cargill, Jacob Fatu. We have 2 new champions. Of those 3, we got I got all 3 of those matches right. You got 2 of those 3 matches correct. How do we feel about any of these? Any of these stick out to you for good or bad reasons? Anything you want to say about them?
I like New Day's gear.
New Day's gear
The
was
Giant
dope.
Gonzalez, the Giant
Yeah.
Gonzalez gear. And props to LA Knight and Fatu for earning that crowd to get them behind them. But honestly, those 3 matches, like, I didn't need any of those on the show. So, mid.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the Jade Cargill match kind of happened exactly how I expected it to. The New Day match, we kind of said if it was going to be like a big street fight war fight, I wasn't gonna really look into it too much. And of the 3, I think the Jacob Fatu and LA Knight match was the best one. That's not saying much, but it was the best one. Congratulations to Fatu. I think he's had a strange year, but like a good year. So for him personally, so I think this is a good like ending for his year. So sweet. Fellerton said, "Dang, that's a long list." New Day playing D&D was dope. Yeah. So I don't know if you know, since we have a little time, since we're not going to talk about the rest of the matches. New Day just wrapped up a 4-episode series on something called Dropout, where they played D&D as wrestlers. They faced the Greek gods, or actually like a bunch of different type of gods. It was the New Day, Bailey, and Chelsea Green, and it was pretty fun, pretty entertaining. So if you have time, go check that out on Dimension 20. And it is again New Day, Bailey, and Chelsea Green playing D&D, and it was pretty entertaining. Thanks for the shout out there. All right, next up. So this was an interesting one because when this first happened, Rey Fenix. So for any of you that don't know, Grande Americano was originally scheduled to face Rey Mysterio on Saturday night. On SmackDown, there was a 6-man tag, LWO versus American Made, and apparently during that match, Rey got legitimately hurt. I didn't know that. So Saturday night when they pulled in the replacement for Rey, I thought that was kind of the plan all along, and I thought that was kind of dumb, and I didn't understand it. And then luckily Detective Juice came in and gave us some info about Rey really getting hurt. So how do we feel about Rey getting hurt? What do we feel about the replacement? Did it make sense? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the second I saw him get pulled out of the ring and land, I knew something was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I even told my brother, I was like, something, he landed bad, like something happened there. I don't even think it was the landing. I think when he got pulled, because he tore his groin. So
Yes,
I'm
that
pretty
makes
sure
more sense.
he got pulled from one leg. So I think the pull is what did it.
Yeah.
Either way, he did not finish. He told Rey what to do to finish the match, to take it home. And yeah, I mean, listen, I don't like Rey Mysterio, so I'm glad I didn't have to see Rey Mysterio wrestle. I like Rey Fenix, so it was nice that Rey got the opportunity. I don't know if they changed the winner based on the person change, but I'm gonna assume no.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume no too.
Yeah. Otherwise, I have nothing else to say about it.
All right. Yeah, I don't think so either. I know we obviously didn't choose Americano, but also we weren't sure like how that was going to go. Once they put in Rey Fenix, I think we both kind of had an idea, but we both literally said like, fuck it. We'll let's ride with what we originally picked and stick with the Rey. Fortunately, that didn't work out for us too well, but that's all right. Moving on to, honestly, in my opinion, the match I look forward to the least this whole weekend, Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. Tiffany came out on top. Tiffy Time retained. There's been some reports that there were some legit stiff shots during the match. Apparently there were some backstage issues after the match. I'm not really surprised by it with the way that whole thing was built up. The match to me was nothing exciting, nothing to write home about. I'm glad Tiffany got the win. We did talk about if she got the loss after that whole build, it would have killed her. So at the very least, she got the win. But that's the brightest side I can look at the whole thing.
Yeah, just like New Day and the War Raiders. I didn't care for the match, but they worked their ass off. Same thing here. Like I didn't really care for the match itself, but you can see that Tiffy and Charlotte worked their ass off. They were
Yeah.
trying their hardest, so I can give them props for that. But otherwise, I'm glad Tiffy won. I thought she chipped her teeth at the end, but apparently she did not. I don't know what that was about, but I don't know if you saw her front teeth. They looked
Yeah.
all like
They
black.
looked weird. Yeah.
She
And
came
I
out.
thought she legitimately got like
Yeah,
stiffed and chipped it, but apparently not. Thank God.
apparently not. So yeah, that's all I got to say about that one.
And then the last match of night one, arguably the most controversial match of night one. We have, oh, wait, let me switch it up. There we go. We have the triple threat main event, Seth Rollins versus CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. And what happened is exactly what I hope wouldn't have happened, where Paul Heyman at the end of the match betrays both CM Punk and Roman Reigns and helps Seth Rollins win the most important triple threat in WrestleMania history. I know you picked Seth. Did you enjoy that ending that a lot of people did not?
I did.
Oh.
I liked the match. I like what they did, and obviously we're only a week into it, so we'll see long term where this goes. But this has already been more effective and beneficial than the Cena turn. So I'm perfectly fine with it, okay with it. I mean, we'll see how Seth and Paul evolve with this.
And we'll get into
At the
that
mo
more later, yeah.
But yeah, at the moment, I'm good with it. I like what they did, and while of course I wanted Punk to win, um, yeah, just Seth winning here is fine with me. So I like the main event, and I think my night one was not good at all,
Not at all.
except for this match,
100%.
and just did not need any of it.
100%.
Terrible night.
I
Sorry to everybody
agree.
that went to night one.
I agree that, and I said this, I liked the match. I did not like the ending. I'm also personally not a fan of a million finishers. I understand having multiple, but at a certain point, once we pass like 4 or 5, it gets a little too much. And it just becomes like a spot fest, which I'm not a huge fan of. So that did take it away from a little bit for me, and I didn't like the ending. I didn't like the double low blow stuff. I thought that was kind of dumb. I would have, I guess if they were gonna do that, I would have rather done differently, but I don't know how either. So like that's hard for me to say. But like I just wasn't excited. And I'll admit, Raw changed my tune, and we'll talk about it more. But I initially was not excited about this pairing. But I also did say, if they do this well, I will like it. If they change Seth's character, I will get on board more with it. And I think they kind of show glimpses of that. So we'll get more into that later, though. But yeah, I liked the match. Just wasn't crazy about how it ended. But definitely the best match of night one by a mile. So not even a question there.
And
All right.
and
Okay,
for
go
what
ahead.
it's worth, while WWE and the industry on its own has ruined it overall, if there's one night of the year where I'm totally fine with the spamming finisher thing, it's WrestleMania.
Of course.
So I'm fine with it.
Of course. And I mean, the reason I bring it up because that leads us to night 2, and really our only disagreement, I think, between me and you of the whole, or our biggest disagreement of the weekend, which was which triple threat was better. And in my opinion, the women's triple threat was better than anything from night 1, including the main event. We had Io Sky defending her title against Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. They opened up night 2. Io retains. I think it was a really good match. The ending was different and interesting. The way, not different as in like we've never seen that kind of thing before, but the way it was done was nice, where Bianca got her finisher in, and then as the pin, Io does her moonsault pretty much perfectly on the both of them. I think she kind of hit the spot on, so to speak, and she retains. And like I was telling you, the reason I thought it was better wasn't because I think they had a better actual match. I think both matches were very good, but they had a better finish, in my opinion. It was an easier finish and to digest, and it just, in my opinion, looked better. So that's why I gave them the edge over night 1 as main event. But, love to hear your opinion.
Yeah, no, well, you already know. I mean, I still think the scale and the epicness of the main event from night one makes it better. I mean, this one didn't really get into that next gear, and I think it's just another thing where it's going to get elevated. Where it was a very good match, but it was not a great match. Like, it's not that WrestleMania epic classic to be remembered forever, and people are going to make it out to be. Like, if you want to talk about
Yeah, but I don't
a
think
hard.
Monday. I don't think night one Saturday was either. I think just the ending was the thing people are gonna remember. I don't think the match itself was gonna be like an all time classic.
No, but either way, I still think the match was better for everything in between. You're just thinking of the ending itself, but the match as a whole, what they were doing played off better, I think, in the main event. But both matches are good. I just,
Yeah,
you feel your way, I feel mine.
of
But I
course.
don't think that match was as good as people are gonna. Everyone's always more kind to the women's matches in history now.
I do
Everyone
agree
wants
with
to
that
make
also. Yes.
everyone wants to make them bigger than they were, but
Yes. Like
either way.
and keep in mind, I'm just talking about WrestleMania itself as far as like other women's matches, like that top 50 list we made, I don't think it would
Mhm.
go above any of the women's matches we put on that list. Maybe one, I don't know, but like not really. So, but as far as the match itself, I think it was really good. It's going to be interesting to see how this storyline now progresses now that Bianca took the loss, Rhea didn't. I'm going to be interested to see how they go with it. So, and again, so happy Io retained. Next up, just mixing two more matches because again, trying to save a little time. We had Drew McIntyre winning the street fight against Damian Priest, and we had AJ Styles losing against Logan Paul. Either one of those matches stand out for good or bad reasons to you?
No, Logan Paul fucking sucks.
I will say, so let me go to just night two, show people what happened there. So we both picked Logan Paul to win, begrudgingly. Both picked Logan Paul to win. You picked Damian Priest. I picked Drew McIntyre. And we talked about the Io Sky where we both picked her as well. But the street fight itself, I think, was good. I don't think it was anything like great or grand, but it wasn't a clunker. They did a good job. They told a good story. I'm glad Drew won. I think, like I was saying, I think Drew just deserved a bigger moment. He's kind of shattered with some of the WrestleManias lately. So I like the work he put in. And I'm not a big Damian Priest fan, so I don't mind Drew taking the win there. And then the Logan Paul AJ Styles match, we kind of knew that was going to happen just because of their status right now in the company. The only thing I didn't like, and I don't know the guy's name and I don't care, but that guy that keeps getting involved for Logan Paul, whatever his stupid name is, don't care.
No,
I
no idea.
don't like that you're not even gonna try to take it seriously. Where he comes in with his stinky little shot, he's laughing the whole time, smiling the whole time. He gets grabbed and thrown into the barricade. He's still smiling the whole time. Like you're like, just don't bring him around. He's not helping. He's not making it believable. He's, if anything, he's making it less believable, and it's pissing me off more
Yeah.
than I already am for that match. So
Yeah, and
just
I'm
annoying.
tired of people. I'm tired of people saying Logan Paul's a good wrestler. He's not.
He's a
He's not a
good
good
spot
wrestler.
monkey. He's not a good wrestler.
He knows how to do like a few
Athletic
moves,
stuff.
but there's nothing going on in here
Mm-hmm.
behind it.
Agreed.
Nothing. He's not a good
There's
wrestler.
no reason for it. He doesn't know how to tell a story. He just knows how to show up for the big move and land the spot. That's it. I agree. That chump. All right. Something I am excited about, and one of the real highlights for me for that weekend, because I just love the character and I've been kind of saying it for a while, is Dirty Dom Mysterio finally following in Daddy Eddie's footsteps and winning the Intercontinental Championship. Pretty good fatal four-way. If you didn't see it, Finn Balor and him kind of traded places at the end where Finn stopped him from winning. He hit his finisher, then Dom hit his finisher to stop Finn from winning. It was just a really good back and forth. Dom walks away with the belt. How do we feel about this fatal four-way and Dom winning?
Yeah, match was good. We both thought
We
Dom
both
would
did.
win the
Yep.
way he did, so they went that way. I still don't like Dom. I'm not going to change that now just because everyone's cheering for him. I still think he sucks and he's overrated, and he's only here because of his father.
I mean, his dad's
And
dead, man.
I'm not no. Um, but the one thing I didn't like, and I'll bring this up again later, kind of goes hand in hand with the WWE Unreal and kayfabe is like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be that guy again. Like yeah, I get WrestleMania is like a moment and you get caught up in
No,
it,
I
but
agree with
like
you.
Dom is a heel. He won the belt and like he runs back down to get the pop and stands on the ropes and everything. And I get everyone's like, "Get your moment, kid. Live in it." Da, da, da." I'm sorry, no. Like you are the heel. Like, and again, forgive me for not remembering the full finish, but I'm pretty sure in a way he kind of we can't really cheat in a 4-way,
Hmm.
but
No, but he cost someone the match. He cost his group
no,
member the match technically.
I really didn't like that. I really did not like Dom
But let me ask you a
celebrating as a
question.
baby
Let me ask you a
face.
question.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, and I usually agree with you, but correct me if I'm wrong. Did WWE do the fireworks or any of that stuff like they've done for people who win championships? No, right? Like it was mainly the fans cheering him and him like going on the ropes. But like when he was celebrating, he wasn't celebrating to the fans. He was trying to be like kind of still dirty Dom heel where he was just like doing that
No.
stuff and like he was smiling and stuff, but he was still trying to show some. Am I wrong about that?
No, no. If you go back and watch, he was leaving. He was halfway up the ramp leaving. The crowd was cheering for him. He turned around and ran back down and got on the rope to go like this. He was celebrating. He was taking in the moment. It was like that unscripted, raw moment. He got a pop.
Yeah,
Like he was doing it because they were cheering him and he got a
gotcha.
babyface reaction. He shouldn't have done it. I'm sorry.
Gotcha.
I get you're
No,
caught
no,
up in the
I
moment, but
agree. No, I totally
yeah,
agree with that. I'm not once a lot of the time
yeah.
again we talked about how long those match times were. So some of these matches once they ended, I kind of just once I saw that nothing was to happen after the match, I kind of just started doing something to fill the time. So I didn't see how he came back. And if that is the case, that does suck because like really fill up that heel role. If you want to celebrate, celebrate like a dick, celebrate like a heel. Like don't give the fans like the
Yeah.
smile and stuff. Like be more of a jerk about it. Like spit on people, do that, like shove it in their face. So no, I agree with you. That takes away from it a little bit, unfortunately.
Yep.
All right. Next big one, and this is a big topic because I was so excited for about 5 minutes. Joe Hendry comes out to be the mystery opponent for Randall Keith Orton. And they don't necessarily have a squash match in
They have a squash
terms.
match.
Hold on. I didn't finish my sentence. In terms of time, in terms of actual physical wrestling in the ring, it was a squash match. But like Hendry got a lot of time to get his pops. Hendry got moves in. Hendry kept doing the waves and the poses. So Hendry got moments in the match. But Hendry never got a moment where he looked like he was going to win the match. Hendry was just always, he was out there to be out there kind of thing. Your face looks confused. I don't know why, because I rewatched the match and Hendry had like literally 4 or 5 moments of by himself on the screen. So I'm not sure what you're confused about
How is it not a squash match in terms of time?
because they were given like 6 or 7 minutes. It
It
wasn't
was a
like a
three and a half
two
minute. It was 3.5 minutes, Danny.
with oh I'm talking about the entrance and everything.
Well, that doesn't count.
I
That's not
mean
this match.
there he's when I think of a squash match, I'm thinking of the Bryan Danielson Sheamus thing. I'm thinking of anything where the guy who loses barely gets to show offense, barely gets to show anything. Again, Hendry showed moves. Hendry got the fan pop more than once in the match. Hendry showed a couple of his things in the match. It was a squash match. No one's arguing with you. I'm just saying technically I feel like Hendry got a little more in than your typical squash match for it. Okay.
All right. Okay. Well, it was a squash match, and it made him look like a fucking idiot. And this is your TNA World Champion you're putting out there to lose in 3.5 minutes. And I'm sorry, but I don't care about what it makes you look like and the reaction and the moment. Like I don't feel for TNA at all. I don't. This is just like the AAA thing. I don't care. They deserve everything they're getting. I like Joe Hendry, but the optics on this are terrible, and it just no. I'm sorry. Like it should have been at least 10 minutes. Like let us believe Joe Hendry can beat Randy Orton. Like give it,
Yeah,
get
at
people
no point
behind it.
did you
So,
believe.
so if I'm gonna watch that match and be like, oh shit, I don't know TNA. I don't watch Joe Hendry. I've only saw him at the Rumble. Like now I'm watching him compete at WrestleMania. He's fucking awesome. I'm gonna go watch TNA. Nothing from that made me want to go watch TNA or Joe Hendry.
Nope.
So while you're looking at stuff that happened before the bell and after the bell as a match, utter failure. Sorry. Not
No, I mean
liking.
those things still happen during the bell, but again, I do understand what you're saying. I do agree with, especially as your world champion, just getting too RKO'd like that, you kind of look like an idiot. And then even the way he lost the match, like I get you're getting your stuff in and you're getting your poses and your move in and whatever, but like you look kind of dumb just turn around posing and then getting RKO'd because you want to pose after not
Yeah,
even hitting a big move, just hitting a move.
it's a waste of time.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you ask Joe Hendry, it was a great moment, according to him on the Bubba Ray Dudley podcast. But if you ask your real wrestling fan, you really just kind of screwed you're a world champion technically by making him look like he was just another wrestler. So it sucks. Speaking of strange events, we had another wrestler pulled from a match during WrestleMania weekend. Bayley, this time, was kayfabe pulled storyline wise. This is always the plan according to what Detective Juice found out. But storyline wise, the plan was always to pull Bayley, have Becky go in as the replacement tag team partner, and have them win the tag titles. What did you feel about the return? Once Bayley was pulled, did you think it was going to be Becky or did you think it was going to be someone else? Did you like it? Was it effective for Sunday night specifically?
What a complete utter waste of time. Like from the very beginning, man, because you do this whole you put
Yep.
Bailey and Lyra in there for an hour
Yep.
for a gauntlet match to earn this shot, knowing what you're gonna do.
Yep.
And like, why couldn't Becky have just come back a month ago and been on TV and play into this build and like do something more creative with it? And I love Becky. I don't know how much of this is Becky or how much of this is WWE, but it's not a good look for Becky after what happened the last time she came back with the Bianca thing. Taking the belt from Bianca in like 30 seconds. Now you get Bayley kicked off Mania. Again, I don't know if she did it or just WWE, but you get my point.
Yeah.
Obviously, it made more sense the next night, which I kind of saw coming as well. I told my brother.
I kind of wish they had done that the first night. I kind of wish they did that Sunday night. But then again, that would have made sense for a return.
They want the Mania pop.
I know, it's so stupid.
It's just,
they could have had the Mania pop and still did the turn.
Honestly, the whole thing left a bad taste in my mouth. So
I agree, and we'll get more into what happened on Monday later. But as far as Sunday, it looked weird. It didn't make sense. I didn't like it. And once Bayley was out, I knew it was going to be Becky coming back. I was, who else is going to take that spot? But just like, and then when they lost it too, like, it just, again, it didn't make sense to me. I didn't like it at all. And now we get to WWE is only about the moment in the moment. Agreed, Jay DeFalco. Moment in the moment. And now we get to moment of all moments. Juice, we have a new GOAT. We have a new greatest of all time, the 17-time world champion, with the help of his little Robin buddy, Travis Scott. John Cena has ended Cody Rhodes' story as champion, and will now be seen, according to him on Raw, 27 more times this calendar year. How do we feel about this?
First off, they did the same ending that Logan and Styles did 2 matches
know.
prior. I want to point that out.
And I will argue that Logan and Styles might have done it better because at least their guy got involved like in a shorter amount of time instead of taking a 10-minute walk down the ramp.
Just for everyone that's wondering what I mean, I'm talking about the good guy doing the bad thing to beat the bad guy and not being willing to do it and costing them the match. Styles did it with the Nux, Cody did it with the belt, and they both lost because they didn't do the thing.
Awful.
So just two matches kind of close to each other doing the same finish is kind of wild, but whatever. You'd think somebody would be like, "Hey, wait a minute, maybe don't do this." Um, in the Styles match at least. And listen, Cole can call him, you can call him, whatever the hell you want. He's not my goat. He ain't the goat. This is bullshit. All right, and you know it. And that's a whole other thing. I mean, you want to talk about like commentary? Like, I'm sorry, like Cole and McAfee should hate Cena. They should
Bro,
be.
I didn't understand it.
They should be and like this. The commentary fails what kayfabe should be now too, because they're so like behind the story and they're telling us, oh, you have to admire his ruthlessness. He's the GOAT. Like, no, he just fucking cheated after turning heel 2 months ago. Be mad at this motherfucker for wanting to ruin wrestling and leave now. And you're over here fucking glossing over him, jerking him off. And I'm like, come on,
They
man.
did the same thing for Logan Paul. They did the same thing for Dominic Mysterio. They did the same thing for everyone, where every match they were just like...
They fail the viewer and the character.
JR would never cheer a heel winning the Mania event of Mania 100%.
Cody can never sell a soul. He has adrenaline in it. Yep. He does. It's very accurate.
But yeah, I mean, think of when Stone Cold won WrestleMania 17, and that's JR's boy. And all you heard from JR was like, that son of a bitch, how could he do that, blah, 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 blah. Now we have John Cena winning. And it's like, oh my God, you're witnessing history, the greatest of all time, even though he just used a belt and someone else to interfere on his behalf. What a scumbag. Yeah. But he did it, ladies and gentlemen. You got to give him some respect. It's like, no, man, he just cheated.
You do not.
Like, shut up. Logan Paul,
and then also,
same thing. Whatever. We're on Cena Roads. Go ahead. Sorry.
And then also, I don't know if you saw this, but for me at least, they spoiled their main event before it even happened.
Yes.
I don't know if you caught this.
Yes.
Like, how do you reveal just before the main event that Cena is going to be on Pat McAfee tomorrow?
What do you think? He's going to go on and talk about how he lost? The fuck?
Why would you possibly fucking do that? Like,
what I don't understand, and why is it so difficult to just say, you know who's going to be on it? It's not a big deal. You can literally... 40 minutes later, advertise, hey, if you don't want to advertise 40 minutes later, if you want to advertise before the match, hey, the winner of the match is going to be on the Pat McAfee show tomorrow.
That's it.
It's that simple. And also, Drumstick spoiled it Friday.
I never saw this, but apparently there was like an advertisement, like a commercial or a picture of the Drumstick mascot with a WWE title with like Cena side plates on it.
Oh, stupid.
I never saw it, and I didn't know.
I believe that.
Either
makes sense.
I do too. And then,
but it just doesn't. I don't understand why. Like what?
And we haven't even gotten into the worst part of the whole match.
Nope.
Travis Scott, like the music hits, and he takes so long to get down to the ring, and it just, kills all the flow. All the air out of that building was gone. And I'm going to give it time, like, before I, like, officially can say it or declare it. But honestly, I think this is in the bottom 5 worst main events of all time for Mania. 100%. I think it's one of the worst WrestleMania main events they've ever done.
I don't care if someone tries to tell me it was planned or not. I do not believe you knocked out the ref to have Travis Scott walk all the way down to give the ref time to get up just to knock him out again. The whole point was you were supposed to get down there to interfere while he was still out. They made an audible because you took so long, so they did a couple more moves, which looked a little wonky, in my opinion, to let Travis Scott pull him out. And then you go ahead and do it was so stupid. And I didn't understand, it just sucked.
And you know what? Before we move on from Mania, since we're kind of on it, I just want to talk about really quick The Rock.
Not
being there at all. And then having the balls to go on McAfee like 2 days later and say everything he said. I'm not going to get into all of it. but fuck The Rock, man. I'm
Yeah,
out.
like
I'm done. I'm done with I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt this entire time with him being the final boss, with the stuff from last year, even with the stuff from this year. That I'm done.
but
He's a piece of shit, man, with the shit he's pulling. Like,
also,
how
what was the point of all this story? What was the point of of him selling his soul to you and blah 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 blah
there was
blah?
none. There was none. And that's
Stupid.
what he basically confirmed.
Stupid.
Is that ticket sales were down for the Elimination Chamber. Endeavor called him to come fly in and do something. Rock came in, fucked everything up creatively, and then left and said, "Oh, I'm gonna leave it to the guys to have the stage." You fucking flew in and blew everything up. So you know what, man? There's no point. Clearly, there was no point or plan to this. So I'm not gonna sit here and give it any more time or breath.
Agreed.
The whole thing can fuck off. It's a bust.
One more thing about WrestleMania before we go away, and this was one of the weird, funny moments that wasn't supposed to happen that happened, and I'm curious what happens as a result. Stone Cold Steve Austin crashed into an audience member. For those of you that didn't see it, Stone Cold Steve Austin was driving his ATV around the ring for a segment. He goes to make a turn, I think his third trip around the ring, goes to turn and crashes into the barricade. A woman very visually is upset. I don't know if hurt or if she was playing into it or what, but it looked like she was at first shocked that he banged in front of her, then sat down, and the realization that she got hit came over. I don't know how hard she got hit. It looked like at first she didn't, and then she kind of said, "I did." He tried to apologize and gave her a little tap and said "fuck it, I'm out of here because I know this is about to be bad." And then apparently afterward, some people came over and tried to calm her down or whatever.
Nick Khan, by the way.
Was it Nick Khan? Okay. That was a weird overall scene. I don't think I've ever seen him crash into the audience on his ATV. So what'd you think about that?
Well, seeing her and her face and how she reacted, for my own legal safety, I'm not going to comment on this. 'Cause with my luck, she will see this video and loop us into whatever lawsuit she's got planned against them. No comment. No comment from me.
What I will say, lady, is how dare you be offended? You are now forever immortalized in WrestleMania history as the audience member that Stone Cold Steve Austin ran over. And you're going to sit there and be offended by that? How dare you? You're not a real wrestling fan, woman.
Juicebox does not endorse the views Danny reflects here on the program this evening. Thank you.
All right. Moving on to the very coveted Raw after Mania.
Oh, excuse me. I believe you mean Monday Night Pep Rally.
They call it the Raw after Mania. This one was a glorified pep rally. But if you ask a lot of these WWE diehards, it was a pay-per-view caliber Raw, and I'm not exaggerating. I have a close friend who loves WWE who said this Raw could have been a pay-per-view, and I just didn't respond. I couldn't have the heart to tell him that he is so far off. I don't know what pay-per-view is only 3 matches, but that was terrible. I know he doesn't watch this, so that's why I can talk about this freely. I almost killed Juicebox on that one. I'll show you the text later. I had the receipts.
People are so stupid.
This is our friend. Careful.
No, they're stupid. You have to have better opinions that you're going to put out there into the world.
I agree.
I get if you're entertained by it, but don't stop it. Stop calling. No,
I'm gonna screenshot it and show it to you later. It's gonna hurt your soul.
Good.
But
it's no. It's maybe I'm too far gone. I realize that I'm in my spectrum, and I'm not gonna get back to what makes WWE good or click for me. I had friends texting me saying this was the best Raw after Mania in 6 years.
And it was not.
I'm sorry. Everybody looks exhausted. Liv and Raquel looked like shit. Everyone had bags under their eyes. McAfee was gone.
We had 3 matches and one wasn't a match.
The show was just moments, turns, and that made it exciting. It was a very good show to shuffle the deck and start a new era.
Yes.
But in terms of a wrestling program, Come on.
Yes.
All right. I'm done.
We started off with our new number one contender.
Ooh,
Like we kind of knew was happening because of the next pay-per-view, but Randy Orton had RKO'd Cena after Cena's little promo and sets up Orton versus Cena, probably coming up at Backlash, I believe. Any thoughts, since we pretty much called this a while back?
Yeah, no, I have no thoughts.
All right. Perfect. Orton, I hope you take the belt from Cena. Doubt it, but I hope you do. Next up, Becky. Oh, wait. Let me reset that timer. Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria defended their women's championship in a rematch against Raquel and Liv and lost, surprisingly. And then Becky turns on Lyra. How do we feel about this? Like we said before, I think this could have happened the night before. I don't know why. I hate these one-day tag team title. It's really been the tag team titles mainly, but these one-day title reigns, and then a partner turns on another partner. This could have been done. You still would have gotten the Becky pop, and then could have had a cool moment on Mania where, like, your new Intercontinental Champion, you know what her next feud is for the next few months.
Yeah, I already said my piece about it from the Mania stuff. The only thing I'll point out is the same thing I said before about Dom. Becky does here, where Becky, who just turned heel, is a heel now. Laid out Lyra is leaving the ring, and the crowd chants one more time, and a good heel would say no, fuck you guys, or tease it and then leave.
I was gonna say tease it.
Becky gets in there and gives them the one more time and gets cheered.
Yep.
Great job on the heel turn. Like that's the shit I can't stand. Be a heel. But whatever.
Agreed.
Whatever.
So that was the first match of the night. Second match of the night of this pay-per-view caliber greatest Raw in 6 years is the New Day accepting an impromptu, I believe it was supposed to be a title match. I don't necessarily know, but an impromptu match against, I believe they're still called American Alpha, which pisses me off also, but that's a discussion for another day. And right before this match can get started, Rusev makes his Raw After Mania return, lays out Otis and Tozawa as New Day run away. And Rusev Day is officially back. How tingly are your loins right now, Juice?
Welcome back, Rusev. This is going to be it. This is the run. Finally, after all these years, all these runs, this is going to be the one. You're finally going to click, and you're going to be a main eventer, and you're going to get a world title. This is it. This is the one, Rusev. Finally, I believe it. Sure.
And I believe you, Juice. I believe you. Truly believe that. He will beat Cena, Punk, and Cody in one night, then wake up, says Jay DeFalco.
Finally. This is it. Future NXT World Champion Rusev.
Hey, you did say he was a world champion. You didn't just say which one. All right.
Let's go.
I will say, as far as the actual return, it didn't make sense why you would... Speed Champ is his ceiling. Maybe. I don't know if you've seen Grande Americano is in a tournament for the Speed Championship, and he's advanced in the next round. So you could go check that out, just in case you were curious. So
thank you.
What I didn't understand about the Rusev return, besides just in general why he returned, is what the point was, getting him breaking up a tag team match. He's not with the New Day. He's not going to start a feud against American Alpha. I just don't get it. If you're going to make him return, put him in a feud, put him somewhere serious, put him somewhere where if you're going to try to build him up for this, like, let us believe that you're going to try to build him up for this, you squashing Tozawa and Otis doesn't tell me that this is going to be your next big run. Sorry. I don't care. So, weird.
This is the one, Danny.
Weird. This
is the one.
And
this
then,
is the run.
And then, to cap off the 3-match pay-per-view card of Raw, we have Io Sky versus Vicor. How do you pronounce it? Vicor, I believe.
Vicaire.
Vicaire. Just wanted to make sure.
Stephanie Vicaire.
So Stephanie Vicaire versus Io Sky. This was another impromptu match where our NXT champion comes out during Io's celebration promo and kind of just challenges her. We've seen this on a bunch of Raw After Manias. This isn't the first time we've seen this. But I don't know how you felt about it, but as the match was progressing, I could tell more and more that this wasn't going to have a real finish. And it didn't. Big surprise. You're trying to hold both your champions in a high regard so you don't give them a real finish. So I don't know why you put the match on in the first place. But that was our third and final match of the night. How did this one make you feel?
Well, as soon as I heard the match was going to happen, I was like, this is going to be a no contest. So I didn't need a few minutes or anything to figure it out. I was like, no one's winning this shit. It's going to break down. So...
Jade Falcon says the finish was another moment that doesn't really matter outside of the moment, and that's kind of what it was as well. Yeah, I agree. And then on to really, in my opinion, the only bright moment of Monday Night Raw, which was the ending of Monday Night Raw, where you had Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman come out. They start to explain a little bit of what happened. Seth barely starts talking before CM Punk's music hits and CM Punk comes out. The one thing I will point out, and I might be wrong, so tell me if I'm wrong, I don't think I heard the Seth laugh. Am I correct about that?
I don't think so either.
Normally, he always starts off these promos with that stupid laugh. The fact that he didn't and was about to start talking and got interrupted gives me hope that Seth character is going to be in the rear view soon. Which, like I said, if that happens, I'm kind of down with a Seth Heyman partnership if it means a new character for Seth. But the really big news, so CM Punk comes out, attacks, Seth kind of gets rid of CM Punk, Roman Reigns comes out to attack, and then we see where this story is now going, where we have a new member of this stable in Braun Breaker, who comes out and wrecks it, cleans house, and him and Seth Rollins stand shoulder to shoulder with Paul Heyman looking menacingly behind them, and this looks like the future of at least Raw with this new partnership. I'm excited about it. I think this is the one thing that really just made me be like, oh, thank God something good happened in this last 3 days almost. And I am excited to see if this is going to be like an official stable, what they're going to be called, who they're going to bring in, because they got to bring in at least one more person. So I'm very excited where this can go.
Yeah, I mean, they added a few steps beforehand, but I kind of guessed that they would. I kind of hoped that they would do this a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
When I said that, everyone's like, "Oh, Paul's gonna leave with Punk, leave with Roman," and I was like, "He ain't gonna leave with any of them. He's gonna leave with Braun Breaker."
I do remember you saying that.
And I think at that point he was still IC champion. We needed more time. So they added a few steps, but they got there. Yeah, I'm intrigued. I know some people were throwing around Carmelo Hayes. Some people were throwing out Karrion Kross. I was saying Theory. I don't know if they're going to want to throw Theory in there. Some people were saying do Becky, but I don't know if you want to go there with the husband-wife thing.
I mean, they are going to be both heels, so...
Yeah, I just don't know if they'll go there. But I guess you will see, because... As I made very clear, I am no longer watching again. I can't do this shit
I understand.
anymore. Like at least last year it was like contentness and like just burnout, and this time it's like utter anger and frustration and just like evident more so than ever how much this is just not for me anymore. And there's so many fans that clearly love it. And it's clicking, and it's exactly what they want, and they're doing something right, and great for them. But as a wrestling fan, like I can't have the keys dangled in front of me anymore
Yeah,
and be like, this one might be different. So I keep, going back and forth, but honestly, like I can't do this shit anymore with them. It's just so not a wrestling company or a wrestling company I enjoy. So
makes
sorry,
sense.
you can talk about it on here all you want every week, but honestly, it may not be the best content, but I'm just being upfront with you that I can't do the WWE talk thing. It sucks. I cannot stand it's like hatred for a company that insults the industry that you love,
Yeah.
and I can't get behind it. So that's my little rant. I'm keeping it as contained as I can. I don't want to go off too much, but it sucks because I know people love it. It's just like everything's too much money, and it's poor quality. I don't understand how it clicks when AEW is like right there.
No, I get it.
So,
What I will say is maybe, and we'll talk about this, off air, but maybe we'll change the rate of the structure. Also, maybe we just do WWE first to get those out of the way, and then really enjoy the rest of the time with AEW, so we don't end on a sour note or end on a boring note, so to speak. Jay DeFalco says he can't understand that people pay those insane prices for moments just so they can be part of it and not have FOMO. But $10,000 for a wrestling seat is insane, and it really is. Like I would never pay anything close to that. But yeah, no, it was a hard weekend to digest, and it was a hard moment of clarity to be like, all right, am I going to keep watching WWE? And if I do, like, am I just going to skip over stuff I don't enjoy? Because then how much of it am I actually watching? Because, like, I don't know what to watch and what not to watch. It kind of sucks. And you still have some of the guys I like there, but even then, they're not doing stuff. So, like, just because I like them doesn't mean, like, AJ Styles, love AJ Styles. Great, he just lost to Logan Paul, now what? He's going to do a thing with Karrion Kross that they're not going to really promote well? Great. Who else do I love on here? CM Punk. Well, we just saw what happened to Punk. He's going to be in a good rivalry at least, and him, Seth, it's probably going to be him and Roman now teaming up to face Braun and Seth, which honestly, I don't know if I like that. Like, I don't know if I want Punk and Roman to be on a team or a super team. Like, you don't need them to really team together. Or if they do team together, it better not be like this, we work seamlessly together. It should be like a challenge. It should be a problem. They should really lose, especially to this new stable. Are they? Who knows? Because it's Roman and Punk. Who even knows when that'll happen? Because we have to wait for Roman to come back. So, like, there's so many things in there. We now have a WWE champion that we're not going to see for weeks at a time. Like, just a lot, and it's more of the same that doesn't change. But like you said, people love it. So maybe we're the crazy ones. I don't know.
no, you know what it is, I feel crazy, but at the same time I don't. It's like, you know what? I know I love professional wrestling. I
Yeah.
love wrestling. I hate WWE because they insult what wrestling is.
Well,
Like they don't do it.
They don't call themselves wrestlers in their defense. They don't call themselves a wrestling company anymore. They don't call
themselves.
they don't call their talent wrestlers. Like, they specifically don't. They don't even, like, I don't know if you remember it last time. Whoever was a guest last time, I think on commentator or something, they called when Hincliffe, or however you say his name, Tony Hinchcliffe, was when he was on Raw or the SmackDown before Raw or whatever, he was talking about the tag team titles, but he called them belts. And they're like, we don't call them belts, we call them titles. Like, they're getting as far away from wrestling and wrestling lingo as possible. So you're right.
That's not new. That's not new. It's just now with them, I can't even pinpoint like what changed under TKO, but like they've significantly gotten worse and more about the money.
I was gonna
And
say,
the
I can
records.
pinpoint it. It's that
That's what it is. It's become less about the product and more about the in-ring product,
products.
more just about the brand. And here's the Yeet Man, here's the Seth Singing Man, here's the Braun Barking Man.
I can tell you when it really changed, and I don't know if you'll agree with me or not, but in my opinion, the second they slapped the Prime logo in the middle of the ring mat, that's for me when the real change started. The second you started putting the logos up, and the second you started taking the spot, and you can argue before that when they started like advertising sponsorship for matches, like this is a cinnamon toast crunch match, or this is whatever match. Like once you start doing that was really the signs. But once they started slapping those logos on, that's when I was like, all right, wrestling means less than ever before. So it's unfortunate. We will, for those of you who might like WWE or might at least like us talking about WWE, I will still bring it up. And if there's any big moments for Juice, I'll try to emphasize it as much as possible to get some opinion. But we'll mainly be talking about AEW on this show. Juice, I assume / hope, will still give predictions for WWE pay-per-views, but they won't be enthusiastic predictions at all.
No. I'll see what I see on Twitter.
Oh man.
And that's
and I'll still give you info. I'll still give you like results and stuff and tell you
Yeah.
big moments, but it won't be the same. But it's all right. Ladies and gentlemen, on that note, I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. We were on for a little bit longer than usual, but we had a lot to talk about. This coming Tuesday, we have our mailbag, first time ever. So if you want to submit any more questions to the mailbag, the email is pinned, in the chat. So you can please submit the questions by Tuesday. And Tuesday, from what I understand, we are also playing a fan-submitted game. I have no idea what the game is going to be about. It is a mystery to me, so I'm kind of excited to hear about it. But that will be Tuesday for us. Do you want to give us any more info on it, or do you want to keep it a surprise, Juice?
No, I don't really have a cool name for it yet, so I'm not going to really
keep it a
share
surprise.
too much.
Love it.
Yeah. We'll see you on Tuesday.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, 8 o'clock Tuesday. We'll see you then. Have a great night.
Enjoy some good wrestling. Watch AEW.
Yes.